Hi everyone, I'm Narjeet from Lean Apps, and today we're going to talk about all the reusable components we've created in our project Lego. If you have missed our previous video where I've explained what is Project Lego, please click the link up here or in the comments to check that video. And if you want regular updates of what is happening on this channel, please click on that subscribe button and click on that bell icon as well. So overall, the components, we divided it among mobile and web components. We created some security components as well. We created the corresponding services and API as components as well. And then we also created some pure backend components. And we enabled these components to run on different infrastructure like containers or also some on-prem normal infrastructure. So let's just deep dive into all the mobile and web components we're going to create. As part of mobile and web components, we're going to create login as a component, where user will be enabled to log in through Facebook, Google, phone number, or LinkedIn. We are also going to create the complete registration or sign up process as a component. Another component we are going to create is WebSocket, which is basically going to enable the front end to talk to the APIs, the corresponding APIs at the backend. We're also going to create side menu and footer menu, which you see in all the apps as a component. We're going to create list and grid view as a component. Basically, could be a list of products, could be a list of homes as an Airbnb, or a list of pictures. Then pagination becomes a component. Your search on the app becomes a component. Your filter list will also become a component where you can filter the list through different parameters. Push notification is basically part of all the apps, so that will also become a component. Uploading of pictures or videos will also become a component. Then location services, where a user is asked to share their location or they use some kind of a map, will become a component. Every app also has some kind of user profile as well, where you can update your password, email, and do other stuff. That will also become a component. Some apps need payments, so that will also become component. So we are planning to use Stripe and PayPal to begin with. Then some apps have to work in offline mode when internet is not available, so that will also become a component. Some apps access your contact data, or they also need access to cameras or pictures, so all of this becomes a component as well. And then there are apps that allow you to share statuses or some pictures or something on other social media like Facebook or WhatsApp, so that becomes a component. And then scanning of barcode or a QR code will also become a component. As a next step, we also created security, basically the communication between the front end and the services. We want it to be as secure as possible, so we created security as a component as well. Let's just look into what we've covered there. As part of security, we wanted to create some kind of a certificate management as a component. Encryption, decryption is an important one, where data can be encrypted between the client and the server side, and patching becomes as a component as well. And using all of these security components, we wanted to make sure that we are able to be HIPAA compliant, which is very relevant for health products. We can be GDPR compliant for Europe, and we can be CCPA compliant, which will be introduced in California, which is equivalent to GDPR there. So we wanted to be compliant with all of these. So we also created services and APIs for the corresponding front-end components to talk to the backend. Let's just look into this as well. In services and APIs, we created OAuth 2.0 as a component, which will basically go hand in hand with login. We created sending of email as a component. We created some CRUD generators, which will ramp up the admin consoles within a day or two. And it'll be very fast then. Pagination becomes a component. Import and export of Excel for data maintenance, this is very important, so that becomes a component. Your search along with Elasticsearch as a component will be important here. Some technical components like caching and logging is what we've added as well. Filtering of data will also become a component. Audit trail is an important one as well, so that becomes a component. Your location services becomes a component. Your offline sync, so once the offline component in front end, let's say we are using an app without internet, and when the internet comes, it'll push the data to server, so that will be a component as well. Your uploading and downloading of files, images, videos is a component. Reporting is an important one which is required as well, so that becomes a component. Creation of analytics and these fancy dashboards could be a component as well. Another important one is notification, which could be through email, push, or SMS becomes a component. Since we are in Europe, so translation and localization becomes really important for us. And we are also trying to create a personalization as a component where we are able to deliver multiple experiences on a single app based on the user group. Next, what we did was we created some pure backend components. Let's just look into that as well. So in backend components, we created FTP import and export. So you're able to pull files from FTP or push files onto another FTP. Your data integration, and this is very important and the most complicated one. So this will also become a component where a system can talk to all the internal systems or external systems very easily through just configuration. Batch job also becomes a component. Configuration management becomes a component. If you want to take data dumps from different databases, that will be also a component. And then managing all the queues will also be a component in the backend. Next, we wanted to make sure all the components which we are creating, first thing we are able to create apps out of it and then run on all the different infrastructure which are available. So most common is cloud, and then we also run them on containers. And some customers have on-prem different hardwares which are available. So we wanted to make sure these are enabled on all of such hardwares. On containers, our components could run on Kubernetes or Docker or OpenShift. We already tested them on these three containers. Another infrastructure which we are supporting is like VMware, OpenStack, KVM, and Hyper-V, which are usually available on-prem on our customer sites. Our big, hairy, audacious goal for 2020 is that whenever we get a request to build a new app from our customers in future, we are able to cover the requirements and 70% of those requirements through our reusable components, and we just have to develop 30% of it, which basically will be integrations with other systems or building those custom business logics. And we'll be able to deliver apps at a really fast pace within few weeks. So that's it for today. And if you think that our list is missing some components which we are not covering right now in our backlog, I would love to hear that in these comments, and we'd love to add that in our backlog. Thank you so much. See you next time.